sort of normal for libs too, isn't it? And it's not, honestly, it's not Republicans and conservatives who are dividing the country. Conservatives and Republicans want everybody to be in the same boat here. We don't put everybody in different boxes and say, you're black, so this is for you, and you're Hispanic, so this is for you, and you are Chaz Bono, so this is for you. She's in her own box. Oh, hey, Brian, thank you. Let's go to Mike in Woodbridge. Mike, WMAL.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Hey, listen, don't let this go to your head, man, but you have forced your way to the top of my list of the best guys on the radio. It took a while, but, man, you are something else. And I want to thank you for mentioning Mike Murphy. That brought tears to my eyes. On with the subject. Yeah, America is disintegrating, and I'm guilty of this too, man. I mean, as a Republican, I'm a retired LAPD officer, and certainly my group of people, I'm a ex-paratrooper. I mean, so I'm certainly conservative. And I think what happens is while we all of us Republicans see what's going on, we all look at it and we grimace, we shake our heads, we just clench our teeth, but we're too busy making America run to go out and pitch tents on Wall Street. I mean, you look at the farmers of America, the cattlemen, they shake their heads, they grit their teeth. All the cops, for the most part, the military, these are the groups that I've been with my whole life. We see the problem, but we don't have the luxury of, and this is going to be the demise of, I think, of our country, is we don't have the luxury, or we perceive that we don't. The Tea Party was a great start, but it wasn't enough. The thing that you're talking about, when you went back in history and talk about what's taught in school, this is happening not by chance, but by design, as totally evidenced in your recall of what it was and what it is in terms of what we talked about or what was taught by our teachers, and all right-thinking Americans see the problem. So the real question that I have is, what in the heck are we going to do about it? Because I got to believe that the majority of Americans think like you and I do. But we just, like, as I said, we don't have the luxury to go out there and hold signs and yell and scream, and so the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and pretty soon this fantasy of liberalism is going to become the reality, because it's the young people that are going to buy into, just like they do with the music culture. I mean, whatever people are told is the cool thing suddenly becomes the cool thing. I got to have my Nike shoes on because a rapper had the same shoes on, kind of thing. This is
hip hop. Often the pigs and raping the hoes.
Roger that.
And that's mainstream. That's award-winning pop culture stuff, and that's what we're raising our children on. And I don't want to sound like Tipper Gore here, but it's a tough environment to raise kids in and have them come out the way that you want to have them come out, because the pop culture has been dominated for so long now by essentially, it's just called what they are, scum.
That's right.
So much of it is just scum, and they've been aspiring to the bottom of the barrel for decades now. And I worked in the news business for a long time. For CNN, it's like a confessional heel. And the big thing was, it's always got to be edgy. You got to push the envelope,
right.
And that's true everywhere. And since I was a child, this term "push the envelope" has been a big thing in pop culture. Well, they went and Janet Jackson pulled her thing off, and woo, nice. It's like I like those, but inappropriate for primetime TV stuff. Everybody's pushing the envelope. Here's the gay storyline, the lesbian, the transgender storyline. Here's the all the junkies and criminals are the victims in pop culture, and the United States is always the bad guy. In films, in television shows, the United States government, the United States military, I'm sure you've noticed, as a former paratrooper, the cops are always the bad guy. As a former police officer in Los Angeles, are always the bad guy. The good guys are always the bad guys now, and the bad guys are always the good guys now.
Well, and this poison
turned upside down.
Yeah, and the poison that you're talking about, as it slowly trickles into the glass of reason and honor and integrity, it serves to dilute it. And it may take a while. It's more of a crock pot than a microwave, but we see the effects of it. And at this point, the division between Republicans and Democrats, I think, is a perception. But the scary thing is that I don't think it's going to be long before the perception becomes a reality, because that's the nature of that beast.
Yeah, they're working very hard, and Daniel in the previous hour was talking about his friend. It works. The Democrats get this thing, and Jon Stewart parrots it, and Saturday Night Live parrots it, and Republicans are racist. Actually, Democrats are racist. Actually, the Democrat
That's
I
right.
had, what's his name, earlier saying that, the Republicans, the Republicans are the racists. They all turned from the Democrat Party in the South
I heard that,
to
yeah.
the Republican Party. That's the standard propaganda that's been tube-fed by liberals, by Democrats, because they get to airbrush out the actual history of their party.
That's right.
And you do that by taking over the media and academia. But it's amazing that with from Nathan Bedford Forrest, the founder of the KKK, to Robert Byrd of the KKK and the Democrat Party, eulogized by Barack Obama, our first black president, ironically.
Well, listen, thank you.
The Democrat Party is the party of racists, but they've hung the label around the necks of Republicans. It's a pretty crafty trick. And maybe we should learn from them and use their own tactics against them, which I do daily.
Thank you very much, brother, for pushing the truth, because it's extremely important, as I'm sure you know. I mean, this is one of our only tools, and the next step is going to be to somehow get people motivated to get involved, get involved.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right, Mike. We've been taking it for granted for far too long. We figure, we'll show up on election day, and that's enough. But these busy little lunatics with their sharp teeth and their little red hoods have been tunneling under your house for a couple of decades now. They're going to pop up in the middle of your living room and grab your children and take them away, rape them and murder them like Joe Biden. We salute you, Michael. Thank you, my friend.